Hey guys, in this video I just want to set up proper movement speed function, because at the moment we are setting everything with the variables and it's kind of getting hard to track, and also we're not preventing some of the issues, like for example if I were to drink this potion and then start sprinting, it will actually let me. So we need to prevent that, and we also want to check if we are not overburdened or anything like that. Before we set up the function, we do have one issue from long time ago, from previous videos, but someone just noticed it now, and it has to do with upgrading weapons. So if I just pick up some of these weapons, you can see I do have 2 swords, and then go to upgrade. I upgrade the first one, then I select second one and upgrade it. Now suddenly I have 3 of them in the inventory, with 2 of them being upgraded and 1 of them is normal. And the reason is just because the index that is set on the button itself is set already, so it's looking for that item in the inventory, but when we upgrade one item it actually removes it and then adds it to the end, so everything moves. And I'm not really sure how I didn't notice it before, but luckily the fix is quite easy. All we have to do is go to your widgets and open upgradable items button. And here when we're creating these buttons, we are setting the inventory index, but obviously then when we upgrade anything in the upgrade widget, we're not changing these inventory indexes. So now we have to actually locate this item info. For that, let's get the player reference. Sorry, we are here on set button active. And from player reference, get inventory. And we will do find item, and we will be looking for this item info, and that will give us index. We can only do it with the exact match, so all the variables needs to be matching, but it's fine because we do have a same stack on weapons and armors, because it only can have 1 stack, so it will find the weapon without problem. And then you can set this inventory index to new one, so we update it, and then we will just pass it into this one here, which is the one from upgrade widget, so we'll change it there. And now if I do the same thing, if I just pick up these swords, pick up this diamond dust, I have 2, upgrade. Now the second one should be located, no issue, I do have 2 swords now with +1. Alright, so that's fixed. Let's start making the movement speed function. So for that, let's go to player, create new one. This one will be set movement speed. Instead of doing like a variables, let's set up the enum. So enumerators, blueprints, new enumeration, and this one will be movement type, for example, _e. Open it up. Here I will add enumerator. First one will be normal speed. Second one will be sprint. We do have one for potion. And then we will just need one that will be the keep current. And that will be just when we're checking if we are not overburdened and stuff. That will make sense, I'll explain it in a minute. For now, this is enough. Swimming and stuff like that we can set up with the same function, but then that won't be as a separate movement type, because it actually goes from normal or sprint. So let's go back to player. Now on this set movement speed, we will add input. This will be movement type, and movement type, and this one will be just movement type. So what we want to do here is do branch first. Actually, before we do branch, let's just promote this to variable, not the local one, but regular, because we need to access it from somewhere else as well. This will be current movement type. And then we will set up new local variable. So in the local one, add one, and this will be local speed, type float. We'll set it here, and from the speed we'll do select, just regular one. And we will do select based on this movement type. And now if it's normal, we need to get the normal speed. So character movement, max walk speed. So mine is set to max walk speed, where are you? 500. So I think default one in the engine is 600, but I'm not sure. So just change it to whatever is yours. So normal. Sprint I have set for 800 when we are sprinting. Potion is 150 because we set it up recently. And keep current, you don't have to fill up anything here. Then we need to get a character movement and we'll set walk speed. So set max walk speed. And we need to do one more select, because we also want to check if we are not overburdened. Otherwise, we need to reduce this value. We don't have a variable for that, so we can go to function is check weight, I think. So check weight, open it up, and here you can see we even setting the walk speed here on check weight. We don't need to do that. We will remove it. Instead, I'll drag from this, promote it to variable, and this one will be overburdened. We will set it from both because it's being set by this one if the carry capacity is over the max carry capacity. And then once we have it set, can also call the function which will be now set movement speed instead of doing what we did before. Movement speed. And since here we don't have like option for overweight because we're doing it with the variable, so we just set it to keep current. Compile and save. Now these arrows that we have is because of this select, but we can just connect the overburdened. And if it's true, we need to reduce this value, so divide this. If you want to divide the speed by half, then you just do divide by 2, but I think I'm going to do 2.5. So it will be a little bit slower than half, because if we are sprinting overburdened, 400 speed is still quite a lot. This will give it like, I don't know, 300 or something. So 2.5, that's true. If it's false, we just connect it directly, so it will be one of these speeds. Now compile and save. Now we have set up this keep current, so we need to check if it equals enumerator keep current. Do branch, and if it does, we just go, we don't set this current movement type, we'll just go here. I shouldn't have connected like that because that's the wrong one. There we go. So go over. This means, so on false, we'll just connect it here. And what this is going to do is, let's say we set movement type to potion. So the current movement type will be potion. And if we suddenly get overburdened, it will keep the current. So it will go here. Here it will select potion because it takes from here. And then overburdened will divide it by 2.5 and that will give us walk speed. Right, so this is what keep current does. But then one more thing we want to do, we also want to stop sprinting when we change the movement type, because you don't want to suddenly start drinking potion while you're sprinting. You want to stop sprinting first. So we'll do one more branch check. And this time, so before, we're going to get the current movement type. And if it equals enumerator sprint, so if you already started sprinting, branch on false, and if this equals sprint, then we need to stop sprinting. We do have function which is disable sprint. Disable sprint, open it up. We won't be doing this check weight anymore, and this one will just Control X. Instead, we will set movement speed to normal, That's when we disable movement speed, and then in set movement speed, we will now paste this drain stamina that will stop it. So current movement speed, if it's true to sprint, will stop the drain stamina, and from there we just need to continue to this part, which will set it to normal movement speed. And so what this is going to do, once we, instead of disabling sprint, we'll call this function now, which, as you can see, it won't be keep current, so it will go to false. Here it will check if the current movement type was sprint, which it will be because we started sprinting at some point. And if it is, so if it is true, we'll stop draining stamina, and then we'll set current movement type to the new one, which will be normal speed, and then it will select normal speed. So it does exactly the same as stop speed, but now we're doing it with the function automatically. So this is pretty much all we have to do. Now we just have to set it up everywhere. So in a sprint function, so in event graph, I do have this sprint here, and instead of doing this, max walk speed, max swim speed, we're just going to set movement speed to sprint. Then this will start sprinting, and on false, before we can disable sprint, we need to also check if we are sprinting currently. So we need to get this new variable current movement type, and if it equals enumerator sprint branch, then we can disable sprint. Otherwise, what would happen if you didn't add this branch check here, that you would start drinking potion, then you would press shift, then you would release shift. No, on press shift it wouldn't really do anything, it will just start sprinting, but on release shift it would just disable sprint, which is basically, it would set the movement mode to normal instead of potion, so it would speed you up. So this will prevent it. And then one more thing we need to actually do is in can sprint, which is here in the sprint, we do have this can sprint, which checks all of these variables. So if we have enough stamina, if we are moving, and carry capacity if we are not overburdened. We will add one more, and this will be again current movement type, and it needs to equal enumerator normal or boolean equals enumerator sprint. So we can only sprint if the movement mode at the moment is normal or actually sprinting. We have to add the sprinting because if it didn't, then this check is being done like 10 times per second in our drain stamina, so it would switch off sprinting. So we need to include sprinting, compile and save. And now in sprint, this is all correct. Disable sprint. Now we just need to set it up in the potion. So in event graph again, potion, instead of setting walk speed like this, we'll just get a set movement speed to potion, and then copy it, and here where we are returning it, paste it here, and again this will be normal. So this time, if so sprinting is not working actually. I'm draining stamina, but I'm not sprinting. Let's quickly have a look. So in the player, set movement speed. Alright, here false. So if it's not equal sprint, we need to go to this part. We only want to stop drain stamina. Compile and save. Okay, so now I can sprint, I can stop, sprint, stop, sprint. That's fine. If I drink potions, I'll set it up, set to quick slot. Drink, I can't sprint, I'm pressing it, I'm releasing it, nothing happens until I stop sprinting, so that's fine. Also, if I'm sprinting and then press potion, it will still slow me down. So that is correct now. It's switching between the movement modes as it should. Also, you could probably check it with overburdened. That should work the same way. So now when we become overburdened, like even when we drink potion and we would pick up some item or drop, or not drop item, or equip item with a quick slot, for example, and being overburdened, it would still just give you the correct movement speed for potion. It wouldn't speed you up. So this will prevent a lot of issues. One more thing we need to set up is we need to do something similar for swim speed when we're sprinting. So just what we want to do here is character movement and set, actually let's copy this part that we have here. That will be easier. Except for this one, need to be promote to local variable, and this will be local swim speed. I did something else. Local swim speed. And then this was here, this goes here, and then so if we are sprinting, so normal swim speed, character movement swim speed is 300, and I think on a sprint we had it set for 500. So 500 while we're swimming and sprinting, and then potion we won't use. This will be only used for, we can slow it down, but then it won't really be used. And then divide by 2.5, false will go to directly to this one if we are overburdened, and max swim speed. Cool. So this will do the same thing for a swim speed as well. And based on the, is it current movement type, or yeah, there we go. Cool, so that's function setup. Sorry, just this one at the end is not max walk speed, but max swim speed. That's it. And now there is still a few issues that we might have. Is actually when you're climbing ladder, you can at the moment drink potion as well, and also while you're swimming and stuff, but this is something we will prevent with gameplay tags. So I don't want to set them up yet because we'll be using them mostly in combat. But then instead of all these variables that we'll have here, we'll just set up one container and it will be checking if you're doing any action and preventing it. But that can wait. So that's it. I'll see you in the next one.